Hello everyone. We are covering the BWC World Championship. This is the round of 64 in the under 2000 section. And we have swohl19 and JoeBruin versus Chess with Chris on Twitch and LeonEduard. Swohl and JoeBruin won out their section in the group stage. And Chess with Chris on Twitch and LeonEduard finished second in their group. So that was a quick win for swohl and Joe. Score is now 1-0. So swohl and JoeBruin outrate their opponents by about 600 points on both boards. So we expect them to win this match pretty handily. But it'll be interesting to see how they win it, and hopefully we'll get some good games here. The time is fairly close. JoeBruin and swohl continuing to move. Swohl would like a piece, either a knight or a bishop or a pawn for c7, preferably a knight. The other alternative is he could just support this pawn on d6 somehow. JoeBruin tempoing the queen. Before he made that move, a possibility would have been queen f4 to pin the knight so you could take the pawn. Okay, so if knight takes knight, I think you take this pawn first, then you take back. Oh, okay, this probably blunder. I think knight takes knight is good here. He could wait for a pawn to win the queen. Lots of possibilities for JoeBruin. Not entirely sure what swohl is waiting for. Okay, yeah, he's doing the knight takes knight. That's reasonable. You could take this pawn, then take the bishop. A rook would mate as well. Oh, his partner is trying to win the rook, but they're actually down time because Joe waited for too long there. So you could just take the bishop. That's what I would do. Another option would have been to continue with the tempo. I like bishop at h5. The idea is, okay, queen up is a good move too. The idea I had of bishop at h5 is if you could take the pawn on g4 and king takes, then you could have a discovered attack, win the queen. So swohl doing a good job on his board. They're winning material. JoeBruin going to continue his attack, and this king is perfectly safe. Hey, Leapman Peppa. Thank you for watching. So yeah, that is a link to information about the under 2000 section, final stage of this BWC World Championship. If you're not familiar with Bughouse, this describes how the game works. Our score is now 2-0, favoring JoeBruin and swohl19. And that game was closer than we would have expected. The higher rated team, JoeBruin and swohl19, were down quite a bit of time at the end of the game, but Joe and swohl were able to win the game despite their time disadvantage. JoeBruin has some good development moves. That wasn't really one of them. That game, this move was reasonable because the queen trade is bad currently for chess with Chris. Chess with Chris really needs to defend against this queen mate. I think he's planning on just pushing f3 at some point and having the queen defend. The lower rated team again is up time. Possible queen pin if he could get a bishop. Okay, swohl could win the queen, but he would like to just get a pawn or bishop to win. LeonEduard should have stalled there rather than given that pawn. That was a maiden pawn. JoeBruin sacked his queen for the pawn that mated. Our score is now 3-0. So I did mention that these guys are streamers. Let me give some shout outs here. swohl19, streams a lot of chess, a little bit of Bug House, very enthusiastic, friend of the channel. It's been a long time subscriber. JoeBruin streams a lot of chess. He also streams some variety games. There's a lot of chess players who only stream chess, but JoeBruin, he does some Valorant, some Fortnite, some poker. He does a lot of variety. He hasn't been streaming as much recently. I think he was preparing for North American Open and then took some time off for the holidays. But both great streamers you should check out. I think Chess with Chris on Twitch, I'm assuming he streams as well. Let me see if I can find what his Twitch is. Looks like his Twitch is Chess with Chris. Let me see if he's streaming right now. But regardless, we're going to give him a shout out. Let's see, it doesn't look like he's streaming right at this very minute. But he is a streamer. He has some clips from 3 months ago. Let's give him a shout out as well. I'm letting them know that I'm streaming the games. And by the way, there's another interesting stream going on right now. swohl19, who streamed Bug House before I did, but has taken a long break from it. swohl19 is currently streaming, and Helms is giving some coaching to hashtag Chess and Anamaya, who are playing in the under 2000 section, and will be playing their match tomorrow. Hey, Swohl. Swohl, good luck to you guys. You guys are doing great. Your opponents are beating you on time a lot of these games, but time doesn't matter when they don't stall at the appropriate moments. And you guys are making a lot of strong moves. So really fun to watch. Previous matches, I was able to get on the voice call with Will and Joe so we could listen to what they're thinking. But I haven't been able to do that here. Anyway, they're taking a short break. Okay. I'm not sure if I should read this out loud, the reason for the break. But I will say LeonEduard said they're going to be happy if they could just win one game. Yeah, this is a really tough team. And there's a big rating disparity. But they've been playing, like, they've been Chess with Chris on Twitch and LeonEduard have been playing decently so far and have been up an enormous amount of time. So what they really need to do is coordinate better. Because this last game is a good example. If LeonEduard had stalled instead of moving, then swohl would have been deprived of the pawn he needed, and Chess with Chris on Twitch would have had about 15 or 20 seconds to defend his position. And with these extra pieces, perhaps he could have got it safe. So for example, if swohl had not been able to move, he probably would have taken the queen. But after that, swohl might have been at a loss of a good development move to play. Maybe he would have gone after this bishop, something like that. But eventually, all these pieces are safe. Chess with Chris on Twitch could have played something like knight at f4 to defend this square. It could have moved, well, if the knight takes, rook over is an option, and basically put some more defenders guarding the g2 square. And then, I mean, swohl is still ahead on position, obviously. Won a queen for a piece, but they're still living. And that's what you need to go for. You need to go for a little bit of life, and maybe you can make something happen. Oh, and I'm looking at the flare. People have flare on the chess.com profiles, and LeonEduard has the Crazy House flare. So it looks like he's a big fan of Crazy House. That's great to see. I guess we could look back at this game while we wait. So when he plays knight takes here, I think bishop takes is a little better. If you do bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, it's better for the knight to land here in the end than the bishop. When the bishop lands here in the end, it doesn't really have much it can do. It's kind of looking at the rook, but like that's about it. If the knight is here, it's making a bigger threat. The knight lands here at the end of the sequence. You know, this bishop really doesn't know where to go. It's great of swohl to start attacking the castle's king. I don't like this pawn push. That creates a huge weakness, which was outcome determinative at the end of the game. I think it's better to just take the pawn. Bishop takes, and then you can defend this square by putting another pawn there or dropping a knight in here, something like that. But when you push, you just leave a big hole in your position. Oh, okay. So here comes the next game. Our score is now 3-0, favoring JoeBruin and swohl19. Chess with Chris has gained a pawn. swohl likes to play this opening. A lot of people like to play it. It gives you a little bit of development for hanging a pawn. I don't think it's worth it. It turns out, though, that JoeBruin has won back a free pawn. So if you get the pawn back, then it's quite good. You're just up material. swohl has put in some pressure on chess with Chris. If chess with Chris, well, no, actually this knight guards here. I was going to suggest a bishop fork, but knight actually guards. Oh, that's a queen. Honestly, I would have taken the rook instead of the queen, because in general, it's better to just win a free piece outright than to trade a queen for a piece, because it gives your partner's opponent less pieces to play with. Okay, this is mate on the JoeBruin board, and swohl mates first. That's basically a double mate. So great job to Joe and swohl. Our score is now 4-0. This queen has retreated all the way back to home, which gives JoeBruin a development advantage. He has 3 pieces out, where LeonEduard only has 1. swohl may be looking for a pawn to win this piece, but he's going to continue to develop while he waits for it. JoeBruin needs to keep moving, maybe check, or maybe come back. Either one is good. So he could develop his rook. There, he's done it. Joe with those chess instincts. The swohl could relieve the pin. You could castle. Okay, he's going to try to put more pressure on the light squares here. We might possibly see a sack from JoeBruin. Not sure if it's a good sack at this present moment. Let's see where this knight is going to go. Yes, Swohl's trading 2 pieces for the queen, which is an even trade in Bughouse. And he's continuing the pressure on these light squares. JoeBruin picked up a piece. I like knight at a2, knight at a4 here, which he's played. Because if the king steps back to either of these places, you can, at worst, win the queen with a fork. And he has gone up. Oh, and there's a queen in hand. This is over. You don't even need the queen. He could have pushed 2 pawns, and that also would have made it. Our score is now 5-0, favoring JoeBruin and swohl19. So JoeBruin has played like 2 moves, whereas Swohl has played 4 or 5 moves. So the Swohl board definitely a lot faster. These moves have created some weaknesses on the LeonEduard board. And he hasn't developed any of these pieces. So I don't necessarily like all these pawn pushes he's done. Swohl has created a weakness on f7, but I think he'll survive it all. You can take that knight. Oh, and now you can save the knight. That's worked out well for Swohl. If you just take this pawn. Oh, I don't like queen here. Knight here was a great move, because this knight was pinned. So he did the knight check 1 move too late. That was a missed opportunity for chess with Chris. This pawn is going to hang after the queen moves away. Joe is doing a good job holding on to that piece. And there's some things that are hanging on the LeonEduard board. JoeBruin and swohl19 have stepped up their speed. They are now winning on time, which was not the case these other games. Even though the bishop was pinned, this pawn was not. So that was a queen sack. Chess with Chris. Still trying to attack. But Swohl has a bit of a piece advantage because JoeBruin has won a bunch of pieces. There are some weaknesses over here in the JoeBruin board. I don't think it's going to be enough, as LeonEduard does not have much material in hand. So Joe should just eat as much material as possible. And he has plenty of luft for his king. I think that king can get safe. He could get greedy and take this pawn, or he could just start stepping over. I would take the pawn, but I'm a greedy guy. Maybe bishop check, use existing pieces. Now's a bad time to trade these queens, though. Maybe Swohl waits for a knight since he's up time. Oh, that's a great move, though. A pawn check. I think he can win with the material he has. Pawn check is really great. Pawn check followed by promotion. No matter what happens. If king goes up, then this promotion is just checkmate. And so king really needs to go over. Promotion is still good. And with no blockers, knight takes, queen takes. And you threaten mate. JoeBruin really should stop moving, and Swohl should make this move, because they have mate on the board with no more material needed, and they're up on time. So I'm not sure what Swohl is waiting for. Maybe he doesn't recognize this pin, so the queen cannot take if he just drops the pawn. Is he going to drop a rook here instead? And just win the queen? Maybe he will, not as good. Pawn check is still a great move. Not sure what he's waiting for. Okay, he's just going to win the queen. If queen takes its mate, so you have to go king over. So could just take that. And this is going to be mate for swohl on check. We found a mate, not the most efficient mate, because he didn't really need to wait for that material, but he still made it in the end. So good job to swohl19. Like swohl has picked up a piece for a pawn. He's going to help his partner. You can just take this. Oh, maybe not, actually. That's kind of coming in. So swohl has given up the material that he just won. I think he could have just brought the bishop back instead, rather than giving up the material. Now, another pawn would be good for chess with Chris on Twitch. I don't like this move because it removes the bishop from attacking this square, the f6 square, from supporting the f6 square. The knight is now in the way. Maybe the knight can come back. Yeah, and now this queen is tempoed, and swohl has gotten a lot of this attack out of his face. That's a great move. Threatening check, also threatening this pawn. Interesting. Oh, wow. That's going to end up being a very good sequence. Queen takes, new queen in, probably going to mate. Really the only way out was to move the queen up to give some luft for the king. Knight would win the queen for swohl, but the partner's board is not moving that fast, so there's not really knights available. So it makes sense for swohl to continue playing, continue his development. Got to defend the f7 pawn somehow. Maybe just pawn at e6. Another idea is knight h6. Gonna play knight h6. So it's better for him if his partner doesn't trade a lot, because we might see a whole bunch of trades here. Follow, and then new knight at g5, supported by this existing knight. Could start getting in on f7. JoeBruin has been allowed the castle, and he's gotten a lot more safety from this castle position. Swohl is continuing to roll out moves, and because of this double sit, LeonEduard and Chess with Chris are getting down somewhat on time. JoeBruin just needs to knock these knights around. Maybe pawn at g4. I like pawn at g4 a little better, but I guess maybe he's conserving his pieces. This knight is left hanging, so LeonEduard needs to do something about that. He's retreated the knight. That's reasonable. He could just tempo the knight by putting a pawn at g4. Instead, he's retreating his bishop. I guess he's trying to hold trades for his partner and let swohl play a bit of chess. This is a good move. I like it because now you're threatening this knight, which he indeed has taken. And JoeBruin's king is getting a lot less safe. Possible follow-ups. If pawn takes, you could play pawn at g6. You could play pawn at g7. Pawn at g6, the idea is you're exploiting this pin. So take. Pawn at g7. Okay, he's pushing the pawn. That's another great idea. Your threat is knight at e8. Sorry, knight at e7. JoeBruin is in trouble. So is Chess with Chris, though. And the bigger problem right now is Chess with Chris, because they are down about 30 seconds due to the double sit. So even though LeonEduard has a pretty good position, JoeBruin doesn't need to move. JoeBruin could just stall for the rest of the game and let his partner win at chess. You could take this, you could take the knight, you could push, get your pieces active. swohl has a pretty good chess game. LeonEduard should play knight at e7. to continue this attack. It does give the queen, and the queen may mate his partner. We'll see. JoeBruin would probably sack. So this is a good position for LeonEduard, but the queen is probably going to mate his partner, unfortunately. They're just down so much time. Bull should get his queen in play, and another queen's going to happen. Oh, he's just taking material. That was a bad idea. Okay, this might be enough for LeonEduard to checkmate. He definitely should start checking here. Pawn at g7 is a good start. And if king takes, you can play knight at h5. LeonEduard needs to roll out moves and not stall. This is probably a good sequence as well. You can have knight to d5 if he takes that pawn. You get to use your existing knight. So new knight in is probably good. Yeah, it could go there or g7. This should be mate for LeonEduard. It should have enough material to do that. I think you want to drop a pawn check either of these places. Knight takes is a possibility, but I don't think it's as good. Ooh, I don't like this move. Can't let go of check. Oh, I don't like that move either. King over is the move. Honestly, even with king over, there was still mate for JoeBruin, but it was a really difficult mate. This is a really easy mate for JoeBruin, and that was a missed opportunity. This could have been a win for Leon and Chris if they'd coordinated it a little bit better. So letting go of check was the big mistake from LeonEduard. I don't like this move. It limits development from chess with Chris because you can't push this pawn, can't get the bishop out. Swohl has picked up a piece, which is going to help JoeBruin. JoeBruin probably thinking of sacking. This is a reasonable move as well. I would have preferred the sack in this situation because of the lack of development of the king's bishop. I think you just win on the light squares. They've resigned. They're so afraid of this. I think you could have maybe survived by pushing the pawn, then running your king a little bit. Is this 9? Was that 9 wins? I guess maybe it was. Hey, chess with Chris. Yeah, it was first to 9. If that's 9, then it should be over. Okay, GG's, guys. That was fun to watch. I don't think Leon should have given up this game so quickly. I think he still could have survived a bit by just pushing e6. Push e6. If pawn takes, king has some loft. The game's not over yet. It shouldn't be over. The previous game was a big opportunity for chess with Chris. The previous game, I think they should have won. Because LeonEduard had a maiden attack on JoeBruin with the pieces he already had in hand. Did not need any more pieces. The problem there was Leon let go of check, and once he let go of check, JoeBruin had a maiden attack. But good try, you guys. Chess with Chris, you guys were outrated by your opponents by about 600 points. So you did amazingly well considering the rating differential. Sure, Swohl, we can have an interview. Invite me to a call, and I will talk with you guys. Yeah, chess with Chris. Being in practice definitely helps. Yeah, GG's, guys. In the meantime, oh, hey guys, how are you doing?
Let's talk.
Congratulations on your win.
Thanks,
Oh,
Chuck.
I was really scared of that second to last game, Chuck. I
Yeah,
thought we were
well,
gonna lose.
you should have been scared because Joe has made it there. Joe has made it in like 5, I think, something like that. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, but he let go of check, which gave you guys opportunity. Honestly, I think even though Joe was made it in 5, there was a point where you guys were up like 20, 25 seconds. And I
Yeah.
have full confidence in Swohl's chess ability. If Joe had just not moved for the rest of the game, I think Swohl could have won. But
Yeah, it was looking
but
good at
instead
that
of
point.
moving, Swohl started stalling for Joe at some point. So they actually were catching up on time,
They
and
were.
We're up on
it
time
looked real
against
bad for a
Sammy.
bit there.
I think I was just trying to look for moves and I couldn't find them, and I wanted Joe to get me stuff, and that may have not been the best strategy.
Yeah, we were up so much time in material. I also had faith in Sammy, but I also didn't think that I would be getting mated. So
Yeah, no, they honestly, there were a couple games where I saw some potential for them to get a lot better. So I'm sure if they keep up with their bug house, they'll get very good. Chris and his partner. So
yeah, I think I just forgot that he opened up his bishop and could take my knight, and then that's when I started having some issues. But alas, the match still went in our favor.
Yeah,
somehow,
congratulations, guys. And this is single elimination, so your opponents have been eliminated, and you guys are proceeding to the next round, the round of 32. Uh, I forget off the top of my head who your opponents are. I guess we can look that up here.
we could.
So, uh, so Joe, you have been taking a break from streaming. It seems. You have a chess tournament, the North American Open, or what were you? What have you been
Do
doing
you want to hear
recently?
about that, Chuck?
What's that?
Did you hear about the result?
No, I didn't. What happened?
Oh, really? Well, I ended up winning my section.
Oh, whoa!
So
Congratulations. That's
yeah, thank
fantastic.
you. Yeah, 6.5 out of 7. So
And
Yeah, Joe,
not
what
Joe
was
not
your
was
flawless.
section?
I
Are
was in
you
the under 1900.
under 1900? Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
that's really good, Joe. It
So
really
I think
is.
I gained about 130 rating. So I'm at
You're
1950.
unbelievable. Wait, so if I check your rating right now, that's what it'll say. That's
Well, I don't know if the
crazy.
ratings are updated, but the tournament results page says I went from 1823 to 1950.
You
So
are insane. Oh my goodness. That is
I
so
I
impressive.
also I'm also pretty lucky
No, you're
because
not. Shut up.
the game that I drew, Sammy, I kind of mentioned this a little bit in one of our tweets, but I played the Alpen and was just crushing this kid. I was up 2 pawns. I should have been up 3 pawns. The position was it was saying +7 at one point,
Oh my.
and that ended up I blundered 2 moves before we met time
Oh.
control. So like on move 40, you
Oh.
get an additional 30 minutes. On move 38, I gave up a perpetual.
Oh,
Um,
Joe.
but I got lucky because the guy was actually beating me. He could have like played on to win, but he'd been losing the whole game, so he just took the perpetual, and
Nice.
that's what allowed me to win the tournament. Because without that draw, um, I would have been like tied for second or something. So
Unbelievable. That's a great result, Joe. That's amazing. And you
Yeah,
could have been
that
seven
is
for
amazing.
seven.
And as you get higher and higher in the sections, there's usually isn't there usually some like draw wins that like ties for first rather than like clear first?
well, I mean, it just depends. Like, I think in my section, if I had drawn my last game, there would have been maybe like a 4-way tie
Yeah.
for first or something crazy.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's pretty common in chess tournaments where like at the lower sections you have like clear firsts, but in the higher sections there's usually a bunch of people
yeah,
tied.
I believe the top section,
I
the
think it's
open
because
section,
there's more draws as
Right.
you get higher and higher.
Yeah.
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 A Wonder Leong tied for first with one other person, so they split the first and second place prize money.
Not in your section, I'm assuming.
No, so in my section, I was clear first with 5 out of 5, and then there were I think 5 people with 4.5 out of 5,
Wow.
and then I drew my 6th game, and then that put me, I believe, in a 3-way tie for first with 5.5 out of 6, and then that last section, I was playing one other person that had 5.5 out of 6, and then the third person with 5.5 out of 6 was playing someone with 5 out of 6, and they ended up losing that game.
Okay.
So if they had won, I would have been tied for first with one other person.
Okay.
But
so you got a little
luckily, yeah, I got lucky a couple of ways for sure.
So are you
Dude, 100 points though. That's like
are
disgusting.
you now over 1900?
Yeah, I'm at 1950.
So you got to win in under 2000 section.
Well, I know in Vegas they go by the odd numbers, or I guess.
Yeah,
Oh, is that what it is?
It's like
what I've
21.
seen, like the two biggest tournaments historically in the U.S. have been Chicago Open and the World Open, and one of them is even numbers and one is odd, and I forget which. So usually people like kind of go back and forth between those tournaments, but I'm sure there's
Yeah.
other tournaments that go by even numbers.
Yeah, so I kind of am done with the under 1900 section now. But
Did you get
that's unfortunate.
did you get to hang out with some people you knew from your streams and chess players while you were at the tournament?
yeah, so there's a couple of viewers that I know from Twitch that I was able to hang out with, and luckily the Vegas tournaments, a lot of people end up going, so I can hang out with them. I definitely celebrated with Froleek. I know you guys know him.
Yeah. Oh,
Nick-
Frolek. Yeah, I want to meet him at some
He lives
point.
in Florida. I've hung out with him a few times. He's
Oh,
great.
Yeah.
awesome.
So he hung out with me. There's a player from Vegas who's the president of the UNLV chess club. His name's Kevin. He let me stay at his place, and he played in the tournament. He played in the under 1500, or no, sorry, under 1700, and I think he got tied for maybe like 3rd place or something like that. So that was really good for him. And yeah, a couple other people, for sure. So it's always a good time to play in Vegas.
Damn,
Awesome.
Joe, you gained 130 points. That is so cool, man. Jeez.
So
The
I-
last time I played in Vegas, I gained like 95 rating, and then I lost 70 of it when I played in the Pacific Coast Open.
it sounds like you should only play in Vegas.
Yes,
Just don't
it
play
sounds like.
anywhere else.
Yeah,
You'll be
if I gain a
grandmaster in no
couple-
time if you just only play in
100
Vegas.
rating every tournament. I just needed a handful of more tournaments there, and we're all good to go.
National Master Joe Lee. That'd be great.
Yeah, just 2 more tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from
No,
what I
too bad
know,
they
from
won't
what I
let me
know of
play in that
math,
section anymore.
if you see a trend line, it's just always going to keep going up that way,
Oh
right?
yeah, no, for sure. It's like investment. It's
Or I can go back to Irvine and lose 70 ratings so I can play in the under 1900 again.
yes. There you go. Now we're
So
talking.
the way most of the big tournaments are organized by Bill Gorchberg, and usually if you like win a section, then you'll be unable to sign up for that section again.
You know what's interesting? I talked to, I believe it was like the tournament director, some guy that was there organizing everything. I asked him if I could play in the section again, because I had heard that once you win the section, you're capped. You can't play in it again. But the guy said that it's frowned upon, which tells me that technically, if I get below 1900 again, I could play in it. But the goal is to not lose 50 rating points. So
yeah, it's tough because it's tough because you don't want to like make plans, show up to a tournament, and then the organizers are like, sorry, you can't play in this section, and you've already paid for airfare and hotel and so forth. Like, what are you going to do at that point?
I mean,
So
I
you
would just
kind
play
of
the
know in
next
advance.
section.
just play. I don't mind, not winning my section anymore. I think at this point I should just focus on gaining rating.
Dude,
Makes
you're
sense.
an expert soon.
As
You're
nice.
crazy.
Yeah. No, expert would be a great milestone.
That is fantastic.
Because like right now, what am I, class A or something?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound as nice as expert. So
It does not. It does not at all.
But
I agree.
ultimately, I'll hope to get an M one day. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but this was definitely a good start to that progress.
And let's keep in mind it's all a means to an end. This whole chess thing, which is improving your bug house when your partner is sitting. Little Flockin says, "Tell JoeBruin I'm a big fan. He'll get expert in no time."
Hey!
Thanks,
Flockin's
Mark.
here.
So Flockin is Flockin believes in you.
Flockin
So
just believes in everyone. He's the best.
taking a look at the bracket here, it looks like you guys next will be playing against Domansky 06 and 95412, which may be a zip code. I'm not sure. I think they're from. Honestly, I think they're from Ukraine, if I remember correctly. But I think you guys still outrate them, so would be a favorite against that team. If you win your next match, in 2 matches, you'll be playing the winner of Cerules and Kanewin TX, and it's going to play against someone who may or may not be Anamai and Hashtag Chess. Anamai and Hashtag Chess have not yet played. They'll be playing tomorrow. They are right at this very moment. They're getting coaching from Helm's Knight. So this.
That's awesome.
What I'm hoping is 2 matches from now we see you guys versus Anamai and Hashtag Chess. That would be fun.
Are we
to
like
watch.
the sacrificial lambs for them to get really good at bughouse? Like we have to be slaughtered in order for them to be like really good one day?
If you guys played right now, you guys would slaughter them. But
I see Anamai
but I mean they're really they're trying to improve. So it 2 weeks from now, it's anyone's guess.
Anamai is a very strong. She's a very strong chess player. So
she is, yeah, for sure.
She'll be very good.
She'll be playing you, Sammy.
Chuck, you should probably have some. Plotkin, you gotta coach us. What's?
Yeah, I know they're getting coached from Helm's Knight.
If they're getting coached from Helm's Knight, we need Plotkin.
What I was gonna suggest is like Helm's Knight is coaching them right at this very moment. There's gonna be a VOD. So if you guys want to do some reconnaissance, you could check that VOD, figure out what Helm's Knight is telling them.
We might not even face like we need to focus one match at a time.
That's true. That's true. You can't take this next match for granted.
Dude, we're getting Plotkin coaching
on my stream.
Yeah, yes, Plotkin is suggesting a collaboration where Plotkin
there we go.
teaches JoeBruin everything he knows about
Bughouse.
Definitely
be down. So we got to set that up.
He would just be like, he's like, guys, like I'm terrible. What are you talking about?
see that's the thing. This isn't just a random tournament. It's not just about playing a lot of Bughouse, which is fun in itself. Not just about going for money prizes. It's also about learning and improving and collaboration opportunities. And This is a great collaboration opportunity from Plotkin.
I would pay Plotkin.
Plotkin, for those who don't know, is an international master at chess and is one of the favorites to win the open section of this tournament. He is in the open section, currently partnered with Kazım Gulamali, who's another great player at Bughouse. So interesting to see how their team does. But you can learn a lot for sure by talking to Plotkin.
Did Plotkin play this week? Yeah.
So in the open section, it's a little bit different from the under 2000 section. The open section, they've seeded 36 teams into the tournament instead of 32. So there was like a tiebreaker round this week, and then next week it's going to be down to 32, and then it'll be more of a normal bracket.
Gotcha. All right, that should be cool. Wow. That'd be great if we got some coaching. But Chuck, you're all the coaching I need. I just need to partner with you on your stream.
I'm always down to partner with either one of you. Joe so far has dodged partnering me for many years, but I've partnered with Swohl a lot.
He's scared. He's nervous.
No, I mean Joe is like a specialist who, instead of generally getting good with partner a variety of players, he is good at partnering with Swohl. and partnered with Nicholas Tice.
Yes.
For like what 99% of the games.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's funny because Helm's Knight used to be that way. Helm's Knight would only partner like 4 different people, and that was it. And now she partners, more generally. But yeah,
Yeah, I've definitely been spoiled with my my choices.
and by the way, well, you went to North American Open and scooped that huge prize fund. I scooped some money as well. I had a very long-term bet with Little Plotkin. I think it was a 5-year bet, maybe 6 years,
Wow.
about whether Plotkin would achieve a certain bughouse rating on the 300 chess
2900
server.
on Fix, right?
Yeah, he did not achieve that rating.
Dang.
So
After 5 years,
we're working out a payment plan. But honestly, like I was getting really nervous at the end there because Plotkin has improved immensely at Bughouse and immensely at chess. Like when we made this bet, Plotkin, I think he was a national master, maybe even not that. And like in the interim, he got FIDE master, he got international master, and he got like world class at Bughouse to where he was playing with all the top players and taking some scalps. So I was sweating there for sure.
props to Mark for the rating gain, but also congrats to you on winning the bet.
Yeah, no, that's huge. I knew about the bet for a while, so I'm glad you got paid off, Chuck. That's good.
Yeah. So one of the things, like, when I make wagers, I'm not chasing people down to make wagers. So when people come to me with wagers and are eager to bet me, I insist on stacking the deck in my favor. And if they don't want to take my terms, then I'm just like, okay, we won't bet. So the terms were definitely stacked in my favor. But Plotkin took the bet anyway because he had such confidence in his own abilities, and it came really close. Like when I initially made the bet, I thought it was money in my pocket, but yeah, Plotkin really gave it a run for the money there.
Fix died. So
Oh yeah, and I was counting on that as part of the bet. The Fix would die, but like I got nervous. Like every few weeks, Plotkin would like come in Discord and say, "Hey guys, why don't we all come play on Fix?" And in the back of my mind, I was like,
no.
"You guys don't want to play on Fix, do you?"
Dude, I wish I was around for the Fix heyday. I would have enjoyed it. It's a shame.
Yeah, but we got the chess.com heyday here now, so there's a lot of Bughouse going on.
Yeah. It is cool. The Bughouse World Championship is a great event, by the way. I've really been enjoying it. A lot of great matches. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So you guys are both streamers. Joe, you've been taking a little bit of a break. Are you coming back to streaming as full-time as before, Joe, or do you have other plans? Are you starting med school or something like that? What's up with you guys?
No, the med school dream has died.
No, are you
Oh,
serious?
sorry to hear that.
No, I think it's been over for quite some time now. Maybe.
So Dr. Joe is gone. He's
what's
memory?
What's the plans then? Are you full-time streamer, or do you have another thing in mind?
I think my main focus right now is the Collegiate Chess League, which is live right now.
It is live. Yeah, let's give a shout out. So we're talking to the commissioner here.
I love the Collegiate Chess League. I've been screaming at UCF to get a team, but they're lazy idiots. That's not happening.
Yeah, so they're covering the Pan Ams right now, which is not what the Intercollegiate Chess League usually does. But the Pan Ams, as for decades, probably like 40 years or so, has been the championships over the board. And I guess you have some commentators covering the top matches of that tournament.
Yeah, so I was supposed to be doing commentary, but I told them that I got a really important Bughouse match with Sammy that has to happen. So, yeah, but basically
they had to get these scrub national masters instead of you. So.
Yeah. No, they're doing great, and actually, Chess Dojo Live is actually doing some commentary as well. I think the next round is going to be covered by Kostya, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we're covering Pan Ams, which is exciting because I don't know if they've ever had it streamed before. Maybe they did last year. I'm not sure if anyone streamed it, but after the Pan Ams, we're announcing our next season, which should start sometime next month, which is very exciting.
And how do like if a university wants to get involved in the Intercollegiate Chess League, how do they go about that?
So essentially, we'll be posting a registration link on chess.com, and any college student that has a team that wants to join just needs to register with that link. So we'll be posting an announcement. You'll find it on chess.com's news page, but you can also find it from me if you want to reach out to me directly. You can whisper me on Twitch, or I most prefer Discord, but also you can email me at ccl@chess.com. So.
Wow. Awesome, Joe. You're the best.
You're the best, Sammy. You're the best partner I could ask for.
I'm the worst.
Sammy, you got us out of, like, I was made in 5, dude. Like, we could have lost that match. Like, this could have been our last game of the entire tournament.
It definitely could have been. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the rest of this tournament. It should be fun. I'm
Sammy and I are apparently the 3rd seed. So
which is pretty crazy.
If we play to our expectation, we should make it to the semifinals.
That's true.
So that's what I'm aiming for.
You gotta get that coaching from Plotkin. That's gonna be the game changer. That will seal the deal for our success.
Coaching from Plotkin and Chuck.
So, but one thing I just want to mention, just off the top of my head here, is like the game 2 games ago where Joe was really like made it in 5, and then Joe's opponent forgot to check him, and then Joe mated his opponent. Joe a little bit inaccurately played something like, I think it was like knight at f3, basically.
Yeah, I should.
And he could have walked his king over to h1. So knight at h3 would have been a little more accurate. But interestingly enough, you had so much in hand that I think it even could have worked with that. So when you played knight at f3 and he walked over, you had a series of really sick sacrifices you could have made. Like I think you could have played something like rook at g1, like rook takes, and then knight at g3, and then if he takes with like the f pawn, then like knight at f2 would mate.
Yeah,
and if he takes with the h pawn, then like queen at h2 would work.
Yeah.
So like even though your move was like a little bit inaccurate, you had so much in hand that it was still made.
Yeah, I think
unusual thing.
I think after winning the first 7 games, I was lured into a false sense of security. So I let my my chess bughouse skills slip a little bit in that 8th game.
Yeah, and that's okay at this level, but as you progress in the tournament, eventually people are not gonna let those opportunities get by.
I agree.
And it's gonna get harder and harder.
Need to do better if Sammy and I are to get further in this tournament.
We're gonna kill it, Joe. We're gonna get that coaching from Plotkin. I'm gonna partner with Chuck. We're gonna be some bughouse GMs. We're gonna win the Open next year, and then we're gonna crush it.
You didn't see me at my best today, Chuck, and I'm sorry. I too expect better of myself. So
yeah, and so by the way, like the first few games, you guys were actually down on time. So you guys had really solid moves and seemed to be winning on the position mostly, but needed to speed it up a little bit. And I think by the end of the series, you guys were playing a lot faster.
We didn't have any practice beforehand, so that kind of made it.
We had a 1-game warm up.
1-game warm up, literally.
Yeah, I don't want to lie to Chuck.
I came from the pool, so I had a pool day. I was relaxing.
And I should say that I'm playing from my laptop with no mouse. So the setup is less than ideal.
And by the way, I've been covering you guys' matches in the group stage too, and I always hear like this long series of excuses
Yeah.
where Joe is giving himself like 5 different handicaps. He's like
Yeah.
I'm playing left-handed. My right leg is behind my head. I'm using a touchpad. I've disabled pre-move. Like I'm just waiting for Joe to
I'll
be
never disable
unleashed.
the
For
pre-moves.
Joe to be in like try hard
Oh
mode
yeah,
where he's
you
got pre-move
haven't
on.
seen me at
He's
my
got his
best
normal
yet.
PC. It's going to be really exciting to watch.
So we have another match next week.
Yeah. And you guys practiced a little bit before that, but I'm hoping I'll be able to cover that as well. Should be able to.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself the excuse early. I'll probably still not be my optimal setup by then. Yeah, so don't expect me to be unleashed just quite yet. So hopefully we can squeak through another round before we're ultimately punished.
No, we're gonna be great
by Anamaya and #chess.
Well, your main homework is to schedule the plotkin lesson, because you can learn a lot from plotkin. Everyone can learn a lot from plotkin, and not only that, even if you didn't learn a single thing, plotkin is a content machine. Every time I have plotkin on my stream, the viewers demand more plotkin.
But it's not. But Chuck, that's not fair because it's not just plotkin. It's your dynamic with plotkin is what makes it so great. How like,
anyone has a great dynamic
you're so
with plotkin.
like reserved, and then plotkin's so insane. It's so great. It's like such amazing content.
I think Joe can be reserved as well. So I think
Joe can be reserved. Yeah, I work with Joe. That's for sure.
Sammy brings it out in me.
I bring it out. That is exactly true. What happened? I'm looking at the Anamaya game. They're playing. They're getting better. I don't like it. I don't like it when
this is your competition, guys.
I know. I'm scared.
Oh, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Yeah.
I think that's it for me. I appreciate the interview, Chuck.
Yep, I got
thanks so much for talking to us. Congratulations, guys.
All right, take care, guys.
I'll
see you guys next week.
But
all right, Chuck, I'm gonna head out as well, man. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure's all mine. Congratulations, guys. I'll talk to you later, swohl. Bye.
Talk to you later, man. Bye.
So for our part, there is another match scheduled for 3 p.m. We have Lock and Quay and Ferrari Fan versus Car Sicko and C Rotor. So I'm gonna check to see if any of these guys are already online. Okay, so looks like Lock and Quay and Ferrari Fan are already warming up. I'm gonna unfollow Anamaya. So Lock and Quay and Ferrari Fan are 1800 strength. Let's check Carsico and C Rotor, see if they're online. Carsilco, I should have said. Carsilco is not online. Is C Rotor online? Unable to follow Steve Rotor. Okay. So we're gonna wait to see if this match happens. It should start basically now. Let me see if there's anything in the chats here, because I am one of the organizers of the under 2000 section. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have their chat. That may I have basically half of the under 2000 section. Don't have the other half. Is this? So I'm not sure what's up with this team. And I continue to monitor to see if their opponents come online. Sometimes some of the matches are put the wrong time in the calendar. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like there's a stream going on right now with some 4-player chess players. There's a number of people we could raid if this doesn't come to fruition. But I hope that this match ends up happening, so we have another match to cover. I think Helm's Knight is still coaching Anna Maya in hashtag chess right now. I guess I'll follow Anna Maya. So what Helm's Knight has been doing on her stream for the past hour or so is she has Anna Maya and hashtag chess in a Discord call, and basically they start a game. Helm's Knight mutes and deafens and commentates on the game, and then after each game, he unmutes, undeafens, and talks with hashtag chess and Anna Maya about what happened during the past game and where they could improve. And then after that, he mutes and deafens, and they play again. So it's an interesting dynamic because I've seen these sorts of coaching streams, but what usually happens in the coaching streams is either they're all in a call and get like live advice, or there'll be commentary on like a whole series of games, and then after the series of games, they talk to the people, which is pretty much what I did here. But it's a different dynamic to do like game by game coaching. Oh, uh-oh, I did not mean to do that. Let's see if I worked my layout a little bit. Oh, okay. This is not their opponent's. So it looks like they're in the random pool while they wait. Ferrari Fan and Lock and Quay are warming up. Lock and Quay has stayed fairly solid, trade in some pieces. Might want to play f3. This pawn on e4 is a little bit annoying, attacking the light squares. So I guess he played pawn at h3 to prevent some light squared weaknesses. Queen trade is on offer, and honestly, Ferrari Fan bit on the defense. Oh, he just hung a piece. That's not going to be good for them. I suspect we'll see something come in on f3. Now a new knight for f3 would be quite good. BF Pearl is up about 20 seconds. See if Pearl trying to get that knight, and there's the knight. Why did he wait all that time and then put a bishop here? That was the perfect place for the knight. Maybe that was a bit of a mouse slip. Knight at f3 was a natural move. Fork the king and the queen. And win a queen. But he waited all that time and then he used the bishop. Lock and Quay down about 20 seconds. This king is in a lot of trouble. If he does nothing, if it were Kuru's move right now, then he could do this fork. Right now, Lock and Quay could take the bishop, and then we could see knight at h4. Alternatively, we could see a new bishop at f3. This is a fairly good move. Lets the queen help defend. Yeah, taking a free rook seems reasonable. Could take this. Okay, now it's time for Kuru to use some initiative here. That's a little bit dangerous. Yeah, especially with the rook in hand. Kuru really needs to start checking. And Deferral has won on his board. This is, again, not a Bughouse World Championship match. We're waiting for the opponents of Lock and Quay and Ferrari Fan to show up. I guess we can try to follow them again to see if they're online. But Carsilco and D-Rotor are their opponents. And it looks like neither of them are online. If they don't come online in the next 10 minutes or so, then I guess we'll consider that match not happening and we'll find someone to raid. Lock and Quay doing a good job attacking. Instead of taking that, I would have played, yeah, we have an Anamaya game to watch. Let's watch that instead. Anamaya, #chess. So Anamaya and #chess are playing in the under 2000 section. They don't have much Bughouse experience at all, but they're both titled players. Anamaya is a FIDE master. #chess is a women's candidate master. And they are poised to probably win the all-female team prize, which is a special prize in this tournament to encourage more participation. They've said that they enjoyed playing Bughouse, and they're definitely improving over the course of this tournament. They're currently getting some coaching from Helm's Knight, who is streaming right now, and we're probably going to raid Helm's Knight if this Bughouse World Championship match doesn't happen. They're playing quite a strong team here. Eternab probably wants a pawn. This is interesting. What happened to the coordinates of the partner's board? I don't see coordinates in the partner's board. Is that a bug? So #chess has a lot of pieces near her king. She's not really attacking, but she seems safe enough for now. Okay, if takes, then there is a bishop fork. Oh, that's even better. Great find from, this is French, from the Frenchman. So if a piece lands on e2, you just promote the pawn. Okay. Gonna win the queen. And after winning the queen, there's the threat of promotion. Yeah, this is even better move order. He could have knight checked there first, but he's just gonna take the queen. I think this king is safe enough. Even if a pawn checks, you could take the bishop. Maybe you could come in the dark squares. So he really needs to check here. You could check with a knight. You could pawn check. Maybe pawn check. Oh, actually, queen takes pawn was a good move. Oh, wow, giving up the queen. That's a fake queen, I think, though. He needs more material. He is up 40 seconds. He can wait for material. So it looks like a bishop would be quite good. A rook would be quite good. I don't like this move. It's getting dangerous for him. But it's good that his partner is stalling. And now material is quite good. Now the trades are good. He should tell his partner not to stall, to trade instead. Yeah, this is going to be mate. And this game was in large part decided by time, where the opponents of Anamaya and hashtag chess, their opponents were up enough time that they could stall and wait for pieces. And Anamaya never really had a chance to defend. If Anamaya had been up time, could have told her partner hashtag chess to stall so that Juven Femke got no more pieces. And at that point, she could have put all of these extra pieces on the board around her king to get better defended. Could have developed this knight, got the rook out. Could have launched a counterattack with pawn check. Honestly, I think the counterattack would have worked even earlier in the game. Pawn at d7. If king takes, you have knight in. If king takes bishop, you have pawn at d6. Pawn takes, you get in on the dark squares. Yeah, Anamaya either needed to attack or defend, and she didn't really do either one of those effectively, which is of course hard when you're down time. I'm not sure what the story is with this team we're waiting for. I'll try again to see if they are online. It looks like still neither of them are online. Oh wait, C-Rotor is online. Oh, C-Rotor is playing chess though. So that is a little bit weird. We're just waiting for Karsoko to come online. Lachlan Quay and Ferrari Fan are still warming up for their match. In this particular game, unfortunately, they are downtime. So if they were uptime, Lachlan Quay could stall, and Yuko would have no blocker, so would probably have to play bishop here, bishop takes, pawn takes. Actually, I guess this pin is pretty good for them. But yeah, why are they waiting? So G8652 is defending here. I think he's safe enough. Okay, well, now we see a queen sack. Probably wants to try to promote some of these pawns. Maybe stick a queen on the back rank, like queen at G8. Rook takes, queen at G8. Might be a possibility. Lachlan Quay is going to need to find some move. I think queen in was better than that. And I would have just taken the rook before there. Not sure what Lachlan Quay is waiting for. That just hangs a piece. And there's a flag on the board. So I'm not sure where Karsilko is. Oh, I do have the coordinates back on this partner's board. I guess that was just a weird bug for one game where I couldn't see the coordinates. Let's check again to see if Karsilko is online. Yeah, it's not looking good. I think we're not going to get to watch this match then. So I'm going to try to do a raid. We have two options. We have a player playing 4-player chess, but we have Helmsleit doing Bughouse. So I think we're going to do Bughouse raid. Thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. Glad we got to cover the JoeBruin swohl19 match. Sorry that the other match didn't end up happening. But I really appreciate the time you guys spent with us. This was Bughouse. Oh, hey, Ferrari fan. Yeah, Ferrari fan, I wanted to cover your match, but your opponents don't seem to be there. And it's like 17 minutes in. So, yeah, Ferrari fan, when I checked, it looked like C. Roeder was online playing chess, but Karsilko was not there, which is unfortunate. So I hope to show up and you guys get to play. But yeah, it's good that you guys are playing in the random pool, getting warmed up. If your opponents don't show up, then you guys probably win by forfeit. So sorry to see that. Anyway, I'm going to send you guys all to Helmsleit, who, as I've mentioned, is coaching Anamaya and hashtag chess in the under 2000 section. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and I'll see you another time for more Bughouse World Championship coverage. Bye, everyone.